Now what? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Yeah. Hold it. What you talking about, doctor? I'm finding the frequency. I can connect with the souls that join us here today on IMConscious. Now what? I want to find a frequency that's congruent for everyone so that everyone can receive information that is usable or downloadable to help you on your ascension. My intent is just to raise the level of consciousness one soul at a time, beginning with me. I am the I that I seek. I am the I that I desire. I am the I that I will. I am the I that is connected to the organic internet from which I receive light. And I am able to take this light and convert it into information, perspective, and physical, that word physical that we use, physical light. I am converting it into physical things. I know who I am. I know what I am. And I know what I'm here to do. Breathe with me now, soul group. We're here a little earlier today. I like to check in a little earlier just to get centered, get connected. To receive the love that the beautiful souls send me every week, week in and week out. I can feel that love vibration, that love that alleviates, and it just casts out all fear, all doubt, to help us continue the journey that we've chose to call the life, which manifests in unlimited forms, unlimited frequencies, unlimited vibrations, infinite possibilities, infinite perspectives. It's such a beautiful, beautiful, tangible, consuming, enveloping experience. And I'm just learning how to just let go. Let go, Derek. Let go. Let go. Let go of the programmings. Let go of the expectations. Let go of the comfortable frequencies that you run to. Be open to explore. Be open to receive, Derek. Be open to endless possibilities. Learn how to position yourself and open up to the new energy that is coming in, that's available for anyone who is willing and has that desire and willpower to explore beyond the prison systems that are in place, beyond what we were taught, which is good or bad or right or wrong, beyond color, which is so physical, beyond the scope of what we've been branded with in our cellular memory as the law. The law of what? So let's breathe. Let's breathe. Releasing the things that no longer serve you in this present moment and bringing in new possibilities, new perspectives, new prana, life force energy. I'm smiling because it feels good. Come on in, join us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your love energy. Thank you for connecting. Take this time for yourself. Take this present moment and just really focus on what you're feeling now. Where are you? What are you creating? What's your focus right now? Are you worrying? Are you worried about something that you have no control over? Are you preparing and creating something in the future? Or are you trying to correct things that you perceive that happened in your past? Where are you? How do you feel? I am receiving and I am giving simultaneously. I'm receiving love energy. I am receiving gratitude of beingness, of being here. I am receiving connections. I can feel you connecting to this organic consciousness. And it feels good. Yeah. Oh man, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another episode of I'm Conscious Now What. Thank you for jumping on a little earlier. I like to do that. I like to get centered. And today I became so aware of kind of measuring where I am consciously and my connection to the universe, to the organic universe, because I'm starting to understand that we have a polarity of when we say the universe, we have an organic universe, and we have this virtual reality universe that's being created, and it's forever expanding. And just today, I remember last week, I got a ring on the doorbell, and it was a guy from DTE, which is the energy company that is reigning supreme, which is charging us for energy. And the guy had a little nice little pad. I don't know what it was, but this pad, he was referring to this pad, and this pad was showing a holographic virtual view of my land. It was so enlightening to see this technology. And in this holographic reality of my land, it had not only, like the garage and the fences, but what really caught my attention was it had all of the organic trees. And this was not like a Google map. It wasn't like Google Maps or, the images like video or recording of the land. It was virtual reality. It was almost like the outline of the land. You could see the trees, but it was almost from a perspective of it's kind of hard to explain. It was like a dimension, like almost, I don't know if any of you, the only example that I can give you is one time when I was in my 20s, I was at a studio with a very popular rock star. Now we call him Bob Ritchie, but you might know him as Kid Rock, and he's a rock star that's from Detroit, and we grew up in the same area. And we were in the studio, and he had it was a little piece of paper. I remember it like it was yesterday, and it had like the Flintstones on it, and we had a lot of work to do that day, and everyone was tired. And I remember him saying, man, if you put this little piece of paper under your tongue, you could stay up for days, and we can finish the music and this album that we were working on. And I remember, now I know it was called acid. Now, years from now, it was called acid or LSD, whatever they call it. And I remember when that LSD first started kicking in, and it was like I could see the outline of this reality that we're in. Nothing is solid. It projects as if it's solid. But when you get to these altered states of consciousness, you begin to see through the illusion of what we call physical. Nothing is physical, but it's funny how we're these biological computers, and it's kind of like whatever we perceive it as or whatever we believe it as that's what it becomes. And this is powerful. These walls around me are physical because I believe they are. But in this same space, right now, let me drive this point home. In this same space, this same seat that I'm sitting in right now, I've had out of body experiences, right? And because I believe when I'm out of body that I'm non-physical, I am. And so I could put my hand right through this same wall that I'm looking at right now, just in a different belief system, a different energy field. It becomes non-physical. And so I was looking at this little pad, and it had all of the trees. And this guy says, we're going to come through with the new technology, and we're going to be cutting down all of the trees that are by these very, very destructive power lines. Now, my favorite tree that I hug 3 or 4 times a day, I got a one-on-one intimate relationship with this tree. This tree bears fruit. It's my mulberry trees. You guys heard me talk about this a lot. And my tree was on the list, and you could see the checks on this little pad. They had like red checks going through the trees that they had to cut down. And I remember explaining to this guy, hey man, fuck, we already live in a concrete jungle. The only thing we have in this area, in this circumference, are these 5 trees that bear fruit. For myself, I'm a vegetarian, and my animals. And I wouldn't sign off on it. And the guy kept looking at me. He kept, trying to, say, hey, they're blocking your power. This is why you keep losing power in this area, because the trees, are growing into the field of the power lines. And I understood what he was saying, but in retrospect, these trees I love, just like I love you in our soul group. These trees are conscious, man. And depending on where you are in the scope of this consciousness, the life, being alive, being awake, being conscious to the life, which manifests in all different shapes, forms, species, you name it. Those trees are alive. They're very brilliant, very conscious, very vibrant. Without the trees, we don't survive. We don't survive. And so to drive this home, I was watching them. There's nothing I could do. These bulldozers come in, man, and they start cutting those trees. And what they did, to keep me quiet, because I was standing out there and I was standing in front of my mulberry trees. I was able to save 2 of them, and I wouldn't move. And they spoke a different language and they were trying to tell me to get out of the way. And I was like, I'm not moving. You're not cutting these trees down. And I can remember connecting with the tree just like I connect with you, ladies and gentlemen. And I began to cry. And I remember the guy looking into my eyes, and he spoke another language, and he waved his hand like, like, this fucker is nuts. Just go around this one, and I'll take that. And the truck went around me, and they proceeded to start cutting down the trees right down the gate line. And I know there's a rule that say you can't have any trees 3 to 6 feet from the power lines. I understand that, but these guys were just mowing down and trees. So 2 out of my 5 trees are still standing. And I just remember feeling the tree when they were cutting through these trees. I was standing right there. I could feel the tree in telepathy, calling out, crying out. I could smell the tree. I became one with the tree, and I took on this trauma with the tree. And the tree was just pleading with me. And the thing that was so cool about this is I remember myself preserving a part of this tree, downloading information from this tree as parts of this tree was being alleviated. I remember the tree connecting with me, and this is why I cried. And I allowed this tree to download this valuable information into my beingness, into my physical aspect, into my holographic space that I reside in. And it was very, very emotional. And I just used that as a measuring tool to let me know that I am connected to something that is greater than machinery. Ladies and gentlemen, they're mowing down and chopping down all of the trees in exchange for more lines, power lines that are so destructive. And these trees were acting like a filter to kind of block out some of this radical energy that's coming off of these lines. These trees they absorb a lot of this energy, protecting us in a way that you can't even imagine unless you connect with them. The trees are also a filter from the sun when it's real high, right? They absorb a lot of that sunlight that's too strong for us. So it's like it's filtering through the trees, from the trees to us. You guys understand what I'm saying? So I just started off today just weeping, as I can just see the destruction. And when I go out my backyard, it's just all open field, all of the trees. I mean, for like miles, it's mowed down in exchange for technology. We live in a virtual reality universe now, and it's forever expanding. And we know this by the information that they give us. If we just go back to the information that was in the data that was connected, in the 1920s and the 1930s, they thought that it was just one universe, you see. But now in 2017, they can't even number the amount of universes that are just popping up everywhere, because we as conscious beings, we're learning who we are, what we are, and what we're here to do. So this universe is now expanding. And that's good. I'm using good in the English language. Really, I'm meaning that's okay for it to expand. But what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling and what I'm observing is there's still this polarity line. And I know someone will probably break this down so much better than I can. I know what I feel. I feel this virtual reality universe that is being created from the consciousness of what we would call man, okay? Through artificial intelligence. Technology can get you there. You guys get where I'm coming from? We have technology now where we can travel out of the scope of what we perceive to be Earth, right? Because we perceive Earth a certain way, because in our physical bodies, I don't know anyone, not as of yet, that has traveled out of the space to where we can view Earth from what they call space. Are you guys with me? So all we have is, photos, right? That could have been photoshopped. We have videos that a lot of us say were acted. Hollywood is good. You understand what I'm saying? We got movies, we got the internet. And so we've been programmed in this virtual reality realm that we're in to perceive and take in information a certain way. And what I'm learning on my journey is I'm okay. I'm okay because I see what they want me to see. I can see it. I can see the signal and the frequency that they're putting out that gets us to think and feel and become this being that they can control. I can see that. That beam is on me. I'm sitting in that energy just like you, ladies and gentlemen, are sitting in that energy. And I think what's unraveling a lot of us that are waking up is we can feel and absorb and see exactly what they're doing now, right? And then we can also, right, feel and see and become the realities that we are creating, the way we perceive ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes that just clashes at different times, right? And that's when you begin to question, okay, is my perspective of who I am, and what I'm here to do stronger than their perception of who I am, and what I'm here to do? They meet up just like this, right? And what does that cause us to do? Some of us, it causes doubt. It causes fear. It causes uncertainty on your journey and your purpose, right? It causes separation, right? All of these different frequencies. And that's where we are. And that question that I always ask myself every morning, When I wake from the non-physical realms, am I a slave? And that's one that's hard to swallow. Am I a slave? And what I've came to peace at, right? Because this is a question that we all have to ask ourselves, and we'll all have different perspectives of this question. But the truth of the matter, we will always be what we believe we are and what we say we are. So from a higher perspective, even though my reflection is reflecting me as a slave. Now, what do I mean by that? Am I a slave like we were 400 years ago? It's out. We might as well talk about it. There were a lot of different races that were slaves to the system, okay, including the Jews, including the Indians, including what they call the Afro-Americans or the Africans. There were a lot of different slaves here in the physical. I'm not talking about physical slavery, because physical slavery, 97% of the planet are still physical slaves. We still exchange time for money. So it's deeper. They just become more, what's the word? It's more acceptable. This slavery, we've accepted this slavery. This slavery is okay. Okay. But the most destructive slavery that I'm wrestling with and that I'm freeing myself from, it's not about trying, I'm doing it, right? Soul group, is mental slavery. Okay. Now that's the one that is just overlooked. Fuck physical slavery. We know where we are in the matrix, right? We know we got to have money. We know that, like, I had this run-in with DTE. They coming in on our property and just chopping shit down, right? We have to stay within the laws of man, the laws of the government. We got city laws. We got state laws, right? We got all of this shit that was put in place by man. Respect, yes. If you want to use that word slave, yes. But the most destructive one that I'm seeing, even in our soul group, even within myself, that I'm battling in the physical and the non-physical realms, it's a spiritual war. I'm fighting for my mental freedom. You see, I don't really give two flying fucks about physical things anymore, because I can replace them, ladies and gentlemen. I can go get a job at McDonald's and save up enough money to buy a vehicle. You see what I'm saying? I can go out with a lawnmower and $20, right? And go cut grass all day long, charge people $10 and save up enough money over a summer to get me a home. I can replace mental shit, right? I'm sorry, physical things. But what I'm fighting for, what I'm freeing myself from, is the mental slavery that has been instilled on the masses, to the point where we're scared to go outside of the boundaries that the power that be right now has put in place. We get so uncomfortable when we go outside of that boundary line, because we can go now. You guys hear me say this all the time. We're free, but we're not mentally free. Somebody with me today. We're physically free. I can walk out my door right now and forsake all of this shit and just roam planet Earth. Nobody's going to stop me. Is anybody with me? We're free. The problem is we're fighting for our mental, our conscious freedom, to have the ability to create our own realities and put up our middle fingers to the system that's in place. that is projecting a signal, a frequency. It's beaming on us right now through these computers. I can feel it right now. What we should be doing. It's telling us this is the agenda. This is where we're going. They're herding us like cattle, soul group. This is what you feel. This is what's driving you out of alignment. This is what doesn't feel good to you. You are not crazy. You are not this fucked up being that they're projecting you to be. Okay? You are learning how to create your own realities with your own slice and chip of consciousness. That is your free will, sovereign right that they are trying to alleviate. This is what they stole from us, ladies and gentlemen. They stolen more than money. People getting so upset about the Federal Reserve. Fuck the Federal Reserve. You can keep that paper money. I want my fucking free will. I want the right to create my own realities, the right to be able to travel in consciousness and build my own structured conscious life without you, mother, telling me what I can and what I can't do. That's what I want. That's what I'm fighting for. That's why I'm sending this signal out weekend after weekend. That's why I go live when I don't feel like fucking going live, because I just want to sit in a space that I've created. And I know this can sound selfish, but I love the realities that I've created. And when I'm in those realities, when I shut myself in, when I don't go out into the public and deal with all of the chaos and all of the hate and all of the lust, right? And all of the races and all of this shit that's going on out there, when I alleviate that from my world, I'm cool, I'm calm, I'm collective, I'm centered. Is anybody with me? I've created a space where I can go and just sit in inner peace. And as long as I'm there, everything is perfect. It's not until I step out of my space and go into the virtual reality world that we're projecting and start receiving all of these signals around me, the cell phone signal, the computer signal, the telephone lines. Some of you still got microwaves, the microwaves that's going through me. I'm very sensitive to energy. It doesn't feel good. And this is why they are labeling a lot of us manic depressants, right? What's the other one? Compulsive something disorder, because these frequencies are fucking driving us crazy. We can feel them. We know what you guys are pointing at us. We know what you're putting in the food. We can taste it. Those of you who have, detoxed your body, right? And you know what real water is, and you know what real fruit is that grows on organic trees. You can taste it and know that it's poison in it. You see what I'm saying? This is the war. This is the spiritual war that we're in. And what I'm fighting for, the reason why I incarnated to this present moment to say this present message is I'm fighting for organic ascension. The organic way, just like the grass grows organic. I don't want fucking artificial turf. I know you don't have to water the artificial turf. I know it stays pretty all year long. I want to get out there in my grass and water it. I want to feel it. I want to smell it. You see, ladies and gentlemen, we're fighting for organic things. Organic ascension, organic love. I don't want the artificial love. I don't feel good in lust. I don't. Really think about it. When you're lusting in that present moment, your will and your desire is snatched from everything else and is pointing on this one specific thing that you're lusting for. There is no inner peace in lust. As soon as the lust is done, you feel like shit. I want organic love. I'm becoming accustomed to organic love, the love that casts out fear, the love that identifies with who and what I am. I can connect to it. It doesn't matter what shape you're in. It doesn't matter how many limbs you have. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It doesn't matter where you are on the planet. If you have this organic love, I can connect with you and become one with you. And together we can move mountains out of our fucking way. It's just when we start fucking with the artificial stuff, we become like robots. We have to do things a certain way, and anything out of that way won't be tolerated. Fuck that. I live in a universe with endless possibilities. I reside in an organic universe that whatever I say and whatever I believe, it becomes right before my eyes. That's where my heart is. That's where my will and my desire is. I'm organic. And I love you. I love you just the way you are. You don't have to change anything. Chew on that for a minute. I love you, sister, just the way you are. You were created organically. Your features, your skin color, your hair, your eyes, the way you're shaped, your smell, the way you smell. You don't have to spray all of these different things on you to feel like you smell good. You can go out and be in the sun and perspire and still be beautiful. I'm on some different shit this morning, ladies and gentlemen, or this evening. So I'm going to let you guys call in. I want to hear from you. I don't want to hog up the platform today, but I'm just I'm fighting for what I believe, because I see where this shit is going. I can see this. I'm just not excited about these virtual reality rams that are made with consciousness that are going to dictate rams that we reside in. You know, we get out of this ram, we're waking up to, 3 density, and now we have this virtual reality universe that they're trying to say that we're all going to reside in. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about the organic universe that you connect to with consciousness. Okay. I'm talking about the universe that they're building with the technology, the anti-gravity technology that they have, which gives them the ability, right, or the illusion to move out of this space and into different spaces of in the illusion of time. The technology is here, ladies and gentlemen, and it's time to play ball. It's time to play. It's time to take a stand for what you believe in, and whatever that may be, it's your free will to believe whatever you believe in. I don't expect everyone to believe everything that I believe, because I don't believe everything you believe. But one thing that, if you want to call it a gift, I don't. I just say I'm connected. I know what I'm connected to. I trust what I'm connected to, and I'm becoming what I'm connected to. Okay. So call me crazy. I'll be the craziest MFer on this planet. Why do they call us crazy? Because we have the ability to think and see things more than one way. We can come in and out of these realities. We have become lucid that we exist in more than one reality. And those of us who have mastered and tuned into this ability, right? They don't like that. They don't like that. We're a threat. Why? Because we can go into non-physical realms and come back with more information that's not lining up with the information that they're projecting with their artificial satellites. They're shooting frequencies on us at all times to try to change our perspective. Okay? You're in a spiritual battle with your subconscious. You have your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, which in most cases is running the show because you haven't mastered or keened in on the ability to connect to that subconscious mind and wipe out a lot of programs that this subconscious mind has habitually attached to your emotions and your thoughts and what you believe through circumstances, through television programs, through internet programming, through symbolic signs like the McDonald arches. I mean, this shit is so deep, ladies and gentlemen. When you just sit still and look at your surroundings, there's all kind of symbolic and what's the word I'm looking for? Non-physical, subconscious things, subliminal messages that are being sent that your subconscious is picking up on and biting. This is the battle. Okay. And that's why you hear me say all of the time, it's so important for you to sit with you and analyze what you're thinking and how you're feeling at all times in the illusion of time. That's my number one rule, to be so sensitive and focused on how do you feel right now, Derek? Right now, I feel confident. I feel centered. I feel brave. I feel vibrant. I feel my purpose. I feel my will. I feel my desire, right? I'm immortal right now. And this is a threat. This is a threat. Okay? This is a threat, and this is what they don't like. I know who I am, right? They want me to question that. Okay? And I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way. I'm just blunt because I know what's going on, right? They want me to feel like I'm a nigga. Okay? And all of the other races, okay? It's not just the black people that get these racial slurs, right? You got rednecks, right? You got sand niggas. It's a lot of subliminal things that they want us to believe. They call the Chinese chinks. Are you guys with me? Let's catch the lines. Let's get some calls on here today. Peace of love, Chris Garner. You got the platform. You're live with Derek Dunlap. I'm conscious. Now what, brother?
Hey, what's up, Derek? So they call us crazy, don't they?
Man, I accept. I'm crazy.
You know, I like conspiracy theory, especially the ones we can prove. And one of the ones we can prove is that conspiracy theory is a conspiracy theory. So they wanted us to call it that so they could discredit anything we say. They call us crazy, crazy, crazy. So we live in an intent-based reality, right? Mm-hmm. Everything is according to intent, I should say. Clive Baxter, the Baxter effects, he could prove that plants could tell our intent. Rupert Sheldrake can prove that our animals, our pets, they can read our intent and know what we're going to do before. But when we make up our mind to do it, they know about it already. See, but what these things really are is telepathic. Now, if I say that word, I'm crazy. I'm locked into crazy. Mm-hmm. They don't want us to admit that. When the reality is that these powers that be from these secret societies and all their secret teachings, they've known this stuff all along. They just don't want you to know.
They don't want you to know. That's right.
They want to hold all of the gold.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right, brother. And that's
so in this virtual reality universe, what do we know about string theory and quantum theory? And these theories say that it's light. Light vibrating is all matter made out of this light vibrating. Mm-hmm. So maybe, you know, virtual reality, hologram, matrix, maybe this is the best we can liken it to. Mm-hmm. You know, our third density minds can only wrap around 3D concepts. And this is as best as we can make it out to be. Our science shows us that there's something to it. You know, Elon Musk with his 50 billion chance that we're not living in a holographic reality. Maybe it's just the best we can come up with, you know? We're definitely not meant to know everything. We've been held down. I personally think that we were meant to be ascended telepathic beings by now. We've been held back through the foods and through our water and through the poison.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
The grand conspiracy.
Yeah. I agree. Continue, Chris.
You know, there's a lot of science out there that shows us these things, but that's another word that they like to throw in, pseudoscience. Oh, well, that's not true. Well, this shit's been experimented on since the 20s and before. You know, we have a lot of hard evidence of these things, but we can use that word. There's that slavery word, pseudoscience, just like crazy, just like conspiracy theory.
Pseudo. Yeah, that's very popular now. Pseudo.
A
lot of shit that I say is pseudo. Derek, where did you get this information from? And then I'll say, from the sun. Oh, that's that pseudo shit. Well, where did you get yours from? I read this. Okay. So because you read it in a book, that validates that yours is true. And because mine comes from the sun or a tree or from some non-physical entity, mine is pseudo. Okay. Peace. I roll with that.
I read Game of Thrones. That don't mean it was true.
Right. Right. Right.
You know, they hold us down, whoever they are, you know, insert whoever your favorite they is on there, you know.
I know exactly who they are.
Yeah.
I know exactly who they are. And here's the thing, Chris, right? And I picked up on this, and I said this on a different show, As Above, So Below. I'm in Michigan, and right now, my dogs, my beasts that I have, we have the top bloodline in my dogs in Michigan. And that's what makes my dogs so popular. One of my dogs got more views than I could ever get on YouTube. 5 million views for one of my dogs because of the bloodline, right? And then I just thought about that one day. Damn, if I'm breeding dogs, as above, so below, there is a bloodline of beings on this planet who don't go outside of their blood, man. The power is in this blood. It's a bloodline that's been breeding with only this bloodline, right? Don't even have the same blood that we have. And I tell people, that's why the first thing they do, we got to wake up. When you go to those death spittles, the hospitals, right? The first thing they do is take your fucking blood to see what's in your blood. Okay.
And they shove as much big pharma as they can into you.
Yeah, it's bloodline. See, my blood, I've accepted it. My bloodline has been contaminated and crossbreeded. You see what I'm saying? It's been, I got everything in me. I got a little Indian in me. I got a little Caucasian in me. I got a little Chinese. You see what I'm saying? There's a bloodline on this planet that has not been contaminated. It's been preserved, and the DNA.
Might be 13 of them.
Hey man, hey, it's a bloodline. This is what I'm telling people, and that's what's running this motherfucker. Because the intelligence and the consciousness that has been preserved in that bloodline is unprecedented to most of the bloodlines that we carry. You see. That we carry, and just think, we're waking up, right? We're becoming fourth and fifth dimensional beings. So imagine where this bloodline is. If we fifth dimensional now, shit.
We're just trying to catch up on what
man, we just playing catch up. We in summer school. These motherfuckers is in grad med school. I'm just trying to give people to know where we at. We in summer school, catching up. They in grad schools. They flying around in anti-gravity technology. They on Mars, right? The pictures that they show of Mars are not what Mars is. Mars is, you can live on Mars. Mars is not a sand like Las Vegas. There is life on Mars.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I'm on the fence with the Corey Good guy, but, there's been a lot of other people talking about secret space, programs and places on Mars and stuff. And, you know, there's a lot of evidence out there. And that ought to be our mainstream news, you know, not this guy that got taken down by the cops yesterday, you know. Let's talk about the real stuff, the stuff that could impact us collectively in a positive way.
Right.
But that's not what the mainstream wants you to see. The mainstream wants you to stay, you know, in a state of confusion and anger and fear. I mean, they're linked to archons and that kind of theory, maybe, you know, feed off of us. Constantly putting that on us, you know. And
well, the reason, Chris, not to cut you off, but the reason that I know what I've learned is I have this ability, right? As soon as a person starts to talk, right? As soon as I get their vibration from their throat chakra, I can connect to their intent. Okay, intent. You said it. Intent is everything, right, Chris? Intent.
That's what runs this universe.
Okay, so I have the ability. It's not a gift. I just kept practicing it. I kept practicing it to pick up on the vibration, the tone, the frequency of your speech. And I can connect to your intent. And the reason why Corey Good, right? He ain't lying. But where I'm from, we call it snitching, Chris. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah. See, we call it snitching where I'm from. He's snitching. Okay. He's snitching because it's going to come out. They on Mars. All right. They got the technology where the garden of the galaxies. They created a space outside of this space called Earth. They know they didn't fuck Mother Earth up. Contaminated. You see what I'm saying? So they've inhabited other areas in what we call, a lot of this shit is fictitious, you know, but they have the ability to go to these other spaces. It's not like the pictures they're showing us, though. You know, no. This shit is just like Santa Claus, ladies and gentlemen. They convinced us that it was a Santa Claus and an Easter Bunny. And guess what? They still running that shit to the new souls coming. They still, you know, celebrating Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and all. And we know it's lies. So imagine something that is as powerful as inhabiting in other spaces, right? They don't want these contaminated. You got to wake up, ladies and gentlemen, to what we are. In this physical, we are contaminated, genetically modified bloodlines that are waking up. All right? That's what we are. We are the cancer cells that are fighting to destroy a sick body. I don't know if people can catch that. See, people look at cancer, right? When you put in all of this poison and shit into the body, a cancer is developed. And this cancer is just trying to kill all of these cells that are not reproducing the right way. So the cancer takes over and it'll leave. We are the cancer to these bloodlines, or they're cancer. They're
to them, yeah, that's what we are. But
to them,
for us, they are the cancer, and we are the antibodies. Right here on this program right now, trying to get this.
Exactly.
If you have the eyes to look at the research, and you go into the research, you see that they've always had this technology to get to these other spaces.
Oh yeah.
You know, we got T. Townsend Brown, we got Nicholas Kozyrev, we've got Wilhelm Reich. All of these men have the science. It's out there, and you can find it and see that yes, anti-gravity, yes, space travel has been possible for a very long time.
Long time. Since the 30s, probably since the 20s.
Yeah, that's when it starts happening, and it's in the 20s when people start coming up with these theories and putting them into experiments and going, oh, this works, you know. And I ain't gonna get into if they've had alien intervention or not, because that's too speculative, but just the three-dimensional 3D science says, yes, this can be accomplished. It has been accomplished.
Well, it depends on how you know, define aliens. See, I don't use the word aliens because aliens is, and no disrespect to anybody, but when they say aliens, that's just like calling somebody a faggot. The intent behind that word automatically puts hate and fear. They're aliens. They're not aliens. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have just been
to discredit.
We've been quarantined. Let me paint a picture for you because I'm a simple guy. The relationship that you've built with your animals, like your dogs, your cats, right? And even the animals are being, you know, you got all different kind of species on the planet, but mainstream pets that they allow us to have, right, are usually dogs, right? You with me, Chris? Cats,
That's right.
birds. But shit, we can connect. This is a free will planet. You know what I mean? But these same animals, they're higher conscious versions of these animals. Okay, these animals are conscious just like we are, and there's a higher vibrating conscious animal. These animals are experiencing the same contaminations and the same genetically modified bodies that we are in this physical realm. So you know, if we have a higher space, this infinite consciousness intelligent being that we just call God, of course he's created a species of animal that has a higher self, a higher version of that animal. And this is what they're calling aliens. You see what I'm saying? This is why they use that word aliens.
Extra dimensional, maybe.
Absolutely. That dog, these beasts that I have in my yard, man, they more conscious and connected than I am. And that's what's sad about it. They more
that work of Rupert Sheldrake, you know, he tested people's pets. So what he would do is he noticed that pets would go to the door before you got home and wait on you. And then even if you came home at a random time, that dog would be waiting.
All the time.
So he wanted to take the test a little bit farther. So he had someone stay at home with the dog, and then they would decide when, you know, they would call and say, okay, now do it. Now randomly come home. And then they would see that the dog would go to the door as soon as the intent was put out. As soon as the person decided, I'm going to go home, the dog walked over there and waited by the door.
Telepathy.
There was no cues. He didn't hear somebody coming down the hall. His owner made up his mind. Now that right there tells me that they're more in tune than we'll ever.
Oh, absolutely, man. I watch them. I spend a lot of time with my beasts. And what's new to me, you know, I've never had cats in my life. And when I start, you know, becoming one with nature, with all that there is, I start seeing these cats. Right now, I got like 15 of them, just the strays, the homeless cats. They don't belong to anybody. I start putting out food. And these cats, man, now I thought my dogs was conscious. These cats are so intelligent, and they call it purring, Chris. I talked about this for a while, but I had this one cat. His name was Harold. I named him Harold. Harold would jump up in my lap when I go out on the porch right at sunrise. Harold would jump in my lap. He would curl up in a little ball, and they call it purring, right? And when I would meditate, what I would actually do is I would piggyback the vibration or the frequency that Harold was putting out from his purr, and instantly I would project my consciousness right out of this reality and get into a state of beingness that I never experienced, just piggybacking the cat's purr. Those of you who have cats, when you meditate, let that cat jump on your lap and just, you know how they say, Chris, focus on your breathing or your heartbeat. You know how that's very common to get you focus on the purr or the vibration of a cat and see where that projects you. You're going to project to a state of beingness or consciousness that you never, ever even experienced before. It's incredible. It's the easiest way for me to center is with a cat. And when you look back in history, Chris, I think it was the Egyptians. They had the cats right up on the throne with them. Remember?
Yeah.
You know, for a reason. See? Well, Chris, I appreciate you calling in, brother. I'm gonna allow some other people to jump on. It's always good to hear from you, and stay connected, brother. Stay connected with me.
All right.
All right. Peace, brother.
You have a good one, Derek. The rest of you guys, let's enjoy this show together.
Peace, brother. All right. Good old Chris. I like Chris. I like what he's speaking. Let me get another caller in. Phone number 734-230-2744. Conscious Chatter today is Wednesday. We live in a virtual reality universe. Peace and love, Gary. Can you hear me?
Peace and love. Definitely hear you.
Peace and love. Welcome to IMConscious. Now what? You're live, brother. What's going on with you?
What I want to first say is it's so hilarious. So you had said it. In my universe, there is endless possibilities. And so it is so true, you know, in whatever we whatever we do or whatever we say to ourselves is what becomes. And so what I feel really directed into sharing one of the aspects of the spiritual innate qualities of us, and it is consciousness. So if I just read to that, it kind of brings home what I'm talking about here.
Please, please.
All right. And so consciousness is so powerful. Okay, let me go ahead. Okay. So the next basic spiritual quality that we naturally possess is consciousness. It is very simple to describe consciousness. It just is. Consciousness is simple. The state of being. This is one of the most, if not the most powerful spiritual innate quality we possess. Your personal wealth cannot be accessed without your consciousness. Your consciousness holds the power of self-discovery, and you will either turn on your lights of self-discovery or practice fear. And all fear is a false education appearing real. That's the acronym that we call fear. That's what we practice, is a false education appearing real. And turn off your discovery lights and hide by empowering others. Consciousness is so powerful, you must use it, because with whatever you do, it becomes you. This is no escaping your consciousness. It is the totality of your being. The more you are conscious, aware of the spiritual inequalities, the more you will understand the natural order in which the universe is constructed. The word universe can be subtitled for God's unseen laws. Everything that you have ever experienced in your life is a part of your consciousness. It is a built-in recording device of everything that you have ever tasted, smelled, heard, seen, touched, felt, and experienced. It is who you are, what you were, and who will you become. Mm-hmm. Your consciousness is the present. It is what your yesterday, and it will be your tomorrow. You will never escape from your past of who you were or what you did. Event through that is not real or important. What is important is where you are now, which has much more influence on where you will be and what you will do. Your experience that you may term negative or failures are often the experiences that you need the most. The question is, did you get the lesson that you were to learn from the experiences that you choose or that was chosen for you? It was recently said to another mother on crack cocaine who had a choice to choose the substance regularly over caring for her young. She needed that experience as a part of her consciousness. An individual immediately responds with anger. That is foolish. How could someone or somebody need to experience crack? The other individual responded, I have one simple question for you. Have you made any choices in your life that has caused hardship? He responded, why, yes, of course. Well, how can somebody else determine what a person needs to experience or awaken from their spirit and to bring them to order, obedience? Every child is born highly conscious and determined to discover their spiritual inequalities and natural laws. If given the proper environment and the motivation, a child rearing will be simply a pleasurable. So much so much begins with the consciousness of parents. Are you raising? And so that's what I wanted to talk about in consciousness. And so it is who you are, your self-image, who you speak to, how you feel is the experiences that you will get. And you are creating your endless possibilities because you are creating your world. So that's why I wanted to talk about endless possibilities, because you are here to shape and create your world. And it's based upon what you do each and every day. And I know I was reading from something, and because I am still a student, but I felt a great need to share consciousness, because that's what everything is. We are operating through our subconscious mind.
That's right. That's right. Great information, brother. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Right on time.
Oh, yeah, excuse me. And it's on automatic pilot. And so I appreciate the time. Peace and love to you. I know I took a lot of your time. I would like the other calls to come on. But I felt the great need to speak to that, because that's how we are operating. So peace and love to you, bro.
Thank you, brother. Love you. Thank you so much for that information. Peace and love, Gary. Great information there. Right on point. Right on point. I was sitting here while the brother was dropping that information about consciousness. That was great information. I should have asked him where was he referencing that information from. It was right on point, right in alignment to what I was projecting now. And I just want you, ladies and gentlemen, in our soul group, to just be brave enough to be who you are. Because I'm still feeling what I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling this energy, and this is energy from people who are going to watch this live stream post the live stream. Okay. The struggle that we're feeling is coming from within. Don't be deceived in thinking it's a physical struggle. Your struggle, or what you perceive as struggle, is just you awakening to the illusion of what's been pushed off on us as conscious beings of being the life. Okay, that's what's fucked up. That's the messed up taste you're tasting now. Okay, don't let this illusion fool you to projecting that it's you. In retrospect, it is you, but understand what I'm saying. Okay, it wasn't your thoughts, your organic thoughts. You didn't wake up one day and say, I'm going to do this particular way. You understand what I'm saying? It was projected to you that way. You were taught, you were trained, you were programmed, just like I trained my beast to do the same thing over and over and over and over again until it becomes natural. Okay, so the life that we perceive like we're lacking, we're not lacking anything, ladies and gentlemen, because what that brother said, in consciousness, okay, we lack nothing. We just been programmed to stay in picture consciousness as a sand, a beach of sand, the most beautiful beach that you've ever observed. Just picture that as consciousness, okay? We've been programmed to only pick up a handful of that sand. You see what I'm saying? And anything that's not in our hand, we've been trained to keep that hand closed too, right? We hoard, don't we? We covet, don't we? We keep that hand closed, right? And you heard the saying, as long as your hand is closed, you can't receive anymore. I like that one. I gotta write that one down. That was one good one for me. I ain't had a good one in a long time. But we perceive consciousness as what's in our hand. All right. Let me give you another illusion of how we perceive we perceive the life as how many numbers is in our bank account. This goes right back. That's congruent to what's in our hand, right? You're a failure if you don't have a certain amount of zeros in your bank account. We perceive consciousness now on the way that we look. And this is why I'm telling you guys, me waking up, this internet, I'm telling you, this internet is powerful. This internet is changing the world. It sure is. I agree with that. Because now we have the ability, we're in the deep waters. Remember that? Can you swim? We're in the deep waters now. We have the ability with this internet to press a button and go all around, not only the world as we perceive it, but into other realities now too, you see. You know, the super internet, we're a few years away from connecting consciousness to artificial intelligence. And this is the cry that I'm putting out. I'm just telling you, ladies and gentlemen, just be careful. And listen, I know a lot of times it sounds like I'm preaching. And I'm going to reveal something today, something that I discovered. And this has helped me to ascend and heal at the speed of sound. When I come on this platform and I talk, I am not talking to you directly, okay, in duality. It always seems like whoever Derek is talking about is a real fucked up individual. They need to get their shit together. I am usually talking to myself. Okay. I purposely put my shit out here. Okay. So I can heal. I purposely let this energy go out so I can heal. So a lot of times you guys think that I'm talking about people or judging people. I am simply logging on to this organic internet with you in my soul group, right? And I am healing. I am revealing things that I perceive that I'm experiencing. And this internet is very, very destructive. But at the same time, right? That polarity, it is so, so positive. So I'm just telling you to have balance. See, that's what I've learned, that balance, right? I ask to be transparent to all frequencies. So I will always be what I ask and what I say and what I believe. So I got to experience this internet. I have to be able to become transparent. And there's a lot of frequencies that come out of this computer, right? That takes me to dark, low vibrating places that I find myself sitting in, sometimes a day, sometimes 2 days, sometimes a week, sometimes a month. You see, this is the shit that goes on behind closed doors where it's just me and my own closet, or as a lot of you have become accustomed to, it's me dealing with my shadow self. And this internet exposes not only us, but our children to this filth. And I want you to imagine as I'm 47, I turned 47 July 30th. When was that? Sunday? I'm all off when it comes to time. So don't depend on me when it comes to time, right? And if certain things move me and I find myself in dark places for a day or 2 days or a week or a month, right? Imagine what this shit is doing to our children. Imagine that. Imagine the turmoil that our children are going through. And don't say they aren't, because they are. You don't monitor your children. If your children has a cell phone or internet access, listen, we're in the deep waters. And we're going to have to learn how to swim and adapt to the energy that's coming. Yes, this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful time. Why? Because the new energy is coming in and we are free. We are free. But this technology that's coming, whoo, this technology that's coming, whoo, pick up on that frequency. Whoo, I don't have the words. So just feel, whoo, this technology that's coming. If you're addicted to the internet, whoo, wow, it's here. It's here. I'm going to jump over to the chat. Wow, I'm sorry, chat. I haven't been over to the chat all day. Who we got in the chat? Let's get the hearts going before I get out of here. I love you guys. Thank you for your time in the illusion of time. You could have been anywhere in the world. I really love this soul group. Thank you for you, ladies and gentlemen, who are watching live. I'm live at the chat right now. So if you have any questions or you want to put something out and you didn't get a chance, and the phone line is still open, 734-230-2744. If it's something on your mind, give me a call. Put it out here. Connect to this energy. Let's see what's going on. What's the best way to reset? Astrid H. The best way to reset is to breathe, to be still, to go somewhere where you won't be distracted. And that's even hard to find in some of your homes, right? That's why I always say, go in the closet. I know it sounds crazy, but I will shut myself in the closet real fast to get away from my animals. I got a lot of animals, a lot of distractions. So Astrad, I hope I'm saying it, Astrid H. The best way to reset is to sit, be still, and breathe. Deep breathe. Breathe loud. Focus on that breath. That breath, that prana that you're breathing in, right? Without that breath, you don't exist here. So that'll reset you real quick, okay? No matter, hey, that breath, when you focus in on that breath of life, they call it the breath of life for a reason. When you realize and you become conscious that you are connecting to the breath of life, the breath of your existence here, every other thing that's going on around you will be evaporated, alleviate, okay? Once you connect to it, this is real simple. Just sit somewhere and focus on your breathing, your connection to the breath of life. Okay? It's the little simple things that are so powerful. And just reset. Your whole perspective will change when you connect to the breath of life. All right. Let's see. Just got here. What did I miss? Bright-minded, you missed a lot of stuff. I'm sorry. Peace and love, sister. My ears are ringing right now. And it could be just this. I got a microphone right in my face. I got a camera pointed at me. So my ears just start ringing. Thanks for the hearts. Stan Lee. What's up, Stan? I think this is my first time reading your name, Stan. What's going on, Stan Lee? Great to have you here. Bright-minded. Jedi. Peace and love. Saja. Peace and love. Okay. Astrid said, Derek, I was wondering if you could feel out my energy and frequency. Call me. Call me, Astrid. Phone number 734-230-2744. As soon as I hear you speak, I will connect to your throat chakra and I can get a feel for your energy, because with the technology that we're using, based on what you're texting to me, Derek, I was wondering if you could fill out my energy. There's some kind of uncertainty just by what you're texting with technology. Okay, you're trying to find your frequency, become your frequency, become your vibration. You can feel your vibration through focused, conscious breathing. Okay. But if you call in, I'll tell you right off the gate what kind of energy you have, or how it, not what kind of energy you have, how your energy feels to me. Okay. How I discern or how I absorb your energy. Okay. All right. You're welcome. What is that ear ringing? Is it downloads from the cosmos? Okay, so the ear ringing, especially when you become sensitive to energy, tones, and vibrations. My ear could be ringing right. There's a microphone right here. Okay, this microphone is picking up my frequencies, my voice, tones, right? It's absorbing. And then I got a camera pointed right here at me. You see what I'm saying? Then the computer is right here. So it could be a cross contamination of all of this technology, which is bouncing off of me. I'm energy, right? So it's hard to say with all this technology going on what the ringing of the ear is. But now, when I'm by myself, right, and I'm still, and I get the ringing in these ears, what I'll usually say is, I'm open to receive, okay? And then I'll center, and usually I get, sometimes I get symbols. I start seeing symbols that a lot of times I can't decode, right? Sometimes I receive downloads, right? More information that comes in. I might not know what's happening right in that moment, but maybe a little later on in the day, I'll start spewing out some of this information because I don't know where I don't read books like I used to. Everything that I put out on I'm Conscious now, for probably like the last, 8 or 9 months, I get from the sun and trees and plants and my beasts and animals and other beings connecting with me. Okay. And that's just me. I'm not saying that, that's the best way to receive information. And a lot of things I'm experiencing. You see what I'm saying? So, just on my journey, the reason why I don't put how can I say this? I don't put my existence in the writing of books anymore is because I feel like that's what set us back for thousands and thousands of years. Putting a book that was written by man from the perspective of man at that time set us back thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So I go by now how I feel, okay, and what I'm experiencing from my perspective, which is not always, and when you see it that way, what's the truth? You see what I'm saying? When you tap into consciousness, there is no truth in consciousness. The way we try to use that word. See, when you say truth, what you're trying to do is take consciousness, which we just now starting to play with this frequency, right? You're trying to take consciousness and narrow it down to one way. See, that's the intent behind the truth. You got to discern when people say, now this is the truth. What they saying is, fuck what y'all saying. This is it. And that's, you see what I'm saying? Right then and there, I'll be like, okay, bro, all right, peace and love to you, but I got to keep moving because I'm conscious and I see your way, but shit, I see 1,000 other ways too. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. All right, let's catch up. Bright-minded. What is the ear ringing? It could have been anything bright-minded with all this technology going. I have been waking up in the middle of the night for 3 days. I was wondering what that means. Saja, what time when you say in the middle of the night? Okay, because the matrix is constructed by mathematical numbers. So become conscious when you wake up. Use that instrument that we use to measure time. We call it a clock. Become conscious of the time. You might be waking up to 333 or 444 or 555. You see what I'm saying? And then we can go from there. Try to measure are you just waking up? Are you hearing sounds? Are you waking up from a dream? Are you having an out-of-body experience? You know what I mean? So give me a little more to that. Become conscious.
Call from
James Sanders.
To accept, press 1.
Become conscious of the time, Astrid, that you're waking up. Hey, James, peace and love. You're live on I'm Conscious Now What with Derek Dunlap. What's up? What's going on?
I was wondering, I've been trying to help my family awaken a little bit more. And I even tell my dad, and he believes me, how I'm a starseed, I'm Arcturian, my past life name and everything. He believes me, but he doesn't act on it. He just keeps on going with his life. How do I convince him to go, like, to at least try it?
Well, it's not up to you to convince anyone. You know what I mean? Because when you get into the realm that I have to convince, you see what I'm saying? It's you have to be an example. You have to become that vibration, that frequency, right? That assists him to wake up. You kind of know what I'm saying? It's not about convincing anybody. Become the energy source that your father can rely on. Become the love, that love vibration that your father has probably been searching for all of his life. You see, you are a part of your dad. Now, you might be, you know, a greater part of your dad because you came through your dad's seed to even get into this reality where you are. So you and your dad, it's easy for you to see that oneness, that non-duality. You and your dad are one, right? Connected in consciousness, but two different souls. See, this is deep. On a cellular level, you and your dad, you got his DNA. So you might have incarnated to be the love vibration that your dad or your mom or that your family needs at this time. So you can't convince him, especially with the language that we were given. You know what I mean, my man? You're not going to convince him. Number one, because you're younger and the matrix that we were born into puts prevalent, I know the word I want to say, it favors age. Just because somebody is 75, then they have more knowledge than an 8-year-old. You see what I'm saying? And that's not true, because you are perfect as a fetus. When you come out your mother's womb and take that first breath, you are more conscious and got more knowledge than any being on the planet, because we have all been contaminated and programmed. See, we getting rid of programs now. So me talking to you now, you are more fresher than I am in retrospect, because you haven't been through all of the religious programs and all of this stuff that we've been through. So just become the
It's just I broke free from that.
How old are you?
16.
Okay.
I talked to you before.
Okay, so at 16, you're still fresher. You're 16. You know, not that in 16 years, you know what I mean, you couldn't experience everything that I have experienced. I'm not saying that, but you are still, you know what I mean, in the illusion of time. You incarnated 16 years ago into this manifestation of which we call the matrix, right? So you're still a little fresher. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's still some energy that you know that you're experiencing. Like I'm 47, experiencing the same energy that you're experiencing at 16. You get it? This new energy. You're feeling the same new energy. I'm 47, but you're getting it at 16. When I was 16, this energy wasn't accessible to us at that time. We couldn't even fathom this energy. You see what I'm saying? So in retrospect, you're more advanced at 16 than I was. You're conscious. You see what I'm saying? At 16, I was playing video games somewhere or doing something, you know, that wasn't even attached to consciousness. So become the vibration or the love that your father needs. You know what I mean? Just become the vibration, and he's automatically going to pick up on your vibration on a subconscious level. You see what I'm saying? Don't try to force it. Just become it. Give him that love that he needs. You see what I'm saying? You ain't got to try to talk anybody, even in relationships. That woman, you're a young male, that woman that you will and desire, you're not going to talk her into loving you. She's going to fall in love with your frequency, your vibration, the energy that you're putting out. It's about how you make her feel when she's around you. So use that same analogy with your dad. Become that energy that he loves being around. You know what I mean? He don't want to be around the end. It's just like when the Jehovah Witnesses and nothing against them, but you know how we feel when they knock on the door. Shit, get down. Who is it? It's the Jehovah. You know, become the energy that people want to be around. Okay, bro?
Thank you. That helps a lot.
Yeah, just become it. Say it, believe it, become it. And he has no choice. On a subconscious level, he'll love your energy. You'll just be so pleasant to be around him. I love my son. Your conversations to get more broader. And then you can slide your, you know, because this exactly what I'm telling you is how I built a unbreakable relationship with my dad. My dad is still very, very, very religious. Okay, that book. And that's why it's a beautiful book. The Bible, I've read it 3 times. And I owe that to my dad. When I was little, when I started building this relationship with my dad, all I had was that Bible. So I read that Bible carnal. What do I mean by carnal? I read it like a storybook 3 times. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't until I became conscious that now I can discern that book. See, I know the true meaning of that book now. I read it like a story 3 times. Based on my dad. So now instead of me fighting my dad saying, Dad, Christianity, I don't do all of that. When he pray, I pray with him. When he want to read the book, I read the book with him. When he say hallelujah, thank you with the blood, I say it with him. Why? I'm multidimensional. I can pick up on the energy. I know what he wants. I know the energy that he's feeling. He call it the Holy Ghost. I call it my higher self. You see what I'm saying? That's all it is. I'm multidimensional, so I can connect to him. I can come down or up to wherever he is. I don't expect him to come to where I am. I have to meet him where he is. And that's how I maintain the relationships. You understand what I'm saying? Multidimensional beings, once we accept who we are, and what we're here to do, we can go up and down. See things one way. Go ahead, my friend. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, because I could talk to my dad about stuff like this, but when it comes to my mom, she thinks it's satanic because I accidentally moved a cup with my mind in front of her, and you know she's still in that mindset. That's only black magic and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, and you can't change her. That's what I was saying, like by me being 47 and you being 16. Okay. Now, let me ask you this, and I've never done this before, but I'm curious about it because I've only saw one other person in my circle move a cup. His name is Ryan Cropper. I witnessed him doing it. Let me ask you, what was your intent and what was your focus when you moved that cup?
It was all by accident. I was doing energy meditation before I went to the restaurant, and I had such an overload of energy that it just started going places.
Can you pull up? Can you pull up right now when you think back of that moment in consciousness? Can you pull up what you were thinking about? Because you had to be. You probably don't remember, but you had to be thinking about something. You had an intent that moved that cup. That cup was, like you said, it was an urge or a surge of energy. Do you remember what you were focusing on, or the emotion, or your intent behind it? It's okay if you don't.
All that day that I was trying to unlock psychic abilities, and I was trying to, you know, do things like that consciously. But yeah, it ended up happening later on that day, and at the time that I was trying to do it.
Okay. So yeah,
I had the mindset of I want to unlock stuff.
Okay, you had a lot of will and desire. Yeah, I see. So no, it wasn't black magic, because all black magic is will, desire, and intent, and the ability to move energy. But black magic got a stamp because everybody's intent is different. It all boils down on the intent of why you're moving energy. Are you moving energy for your own greed, or you get what I'm saying? That's black magic. Because magic is the words that I'm speaking. I am powerful. That's magic. I am, and then I'm attaching powerful to that I am. That's magic. That's a spell I'm speaking to benefit myself, to convince my higher self or my subconscious I am what I say I am. Okay, so that's all black magic is. That's all it really is.
The reason why I want to unlock psychic abilities is not for my own benefit, because if I could do it in front of unconscious people, then I can open them up to more possibilities, and it can make them question themselves.
I see. So you want to use the origin, the purest essence of who you are to awaken people to who they are and what they are also, right?
Yeah.
So they can see your reflection of what and who you are and what you are, so they can see that reflection of what they are also. Am I correct?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yes. The reason why my dad believes me is because he saw me accidentally, I think I knocked something off the shelf in the kitchen. I was talking about moving stuff, just stuff like that. And then I was telling him how different energy levels in different areas of the world. And when you travel, you can feel like the level of vibration in each area. So like I was on my way to Oakland in California, and every area that I passed through, I could feel the amount of woken up people there. It's awesome.
Okay. Hey, it's been great. Thank you for calling in. You're a very brave individual. Thank you for connecting to this frequency, and stay connected with me. Okay. I need you. I need you just like you need me in this spiritual war. Okay. And I appreciate you and I love you. All right.
All right. So have a good day.
All right. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
All righty. Stan in the chat right now. Stan Lee asked the question: how do you connect and talk to someone if they're resonating at a different frequency than you are? Stan, that's a great question. And I have a great perspective for you because I do this all of the time. But one thing I'm going to add, Stan, hold on, Zen, I'll get you on right when I finish with Stan. One thing that I want you to be aware of is that you must be able to discern if it's your ego. How can I put this? See, I have to give you an English. Let me tell you how to do it first, but you have to be careful because a lot of people believe that they're channeling from different dimensions, right? But it's just their ego, or you know what I'm saying, talking to them. All right. But this is very, very possible. And I'm going to tell you a little way that I learned how to do this. The closest woman to me in this incarnation for a long time was my grandmother. And my grandmother went inward, right? She turned within 4 years ago. Okay. And when this first started happening to me, I thought that I was dreaming because we were taught that dreams were like this fairy tale land, that it wasn't real. Okay. That's the way we were taught. They wanted to take the power of the non-physical realms away from us because that's where the power is. That's where all creation starts, in thought, in the non-physical realms, and they manifest here in the physical realms. You heard me say this before. It's like a delay. But anyway, after my grandmother turned within, I thought that I was having these dreams about her. Okay, just like everybody else, right? I've been reading the chat, and some of you have been saying you've been having some weird dreams. So I just want to touch on this because I am a fluent lucid dreamer. I am trying to take my lucid dreams, and I'm just using that word because that's the mainstream word, our dreams. Because when I say non-physical realms, to even people in my family, they look at me like I'm a fucking nutcase. Okay, so we'll just say dreams for now. Okay. I start my grandmother started visiting me in the non-physical realms. And the reason why she did this is because I had elevated past fear. I had already awakened in that non-physical realm, meaning I became conscious that the non-physical realms exist. And it was just as vivid, or even more vivid than what we call the awakening state here. Okay, this here is not even HD to me. I got to put on fucking glasses to see here. But in the non-physical realms, I can see in 4K ultra. My vision is much, much broader. And so, and that's what I call passing that threshold. That's why I put out there and tell people it's imperative that you have an out-of-body experience or become, you know, lucid, awaken in the dream state, because this is your connection to non-physical awareness or consciousness. Okay, so my grandmother started showing up, and it was just as vivid as I'm talking on this, more vivid than this live stream, because this is technology. And she started telling me things to tell individuals in my family. It was a connection, right? So I'll give you an example. I hope my mom forgives me for this. I'm not going to get real graphic into it because we on this technology and I just don't want to put it out there. But she told me to tell my mom something specific. I wasn't even born. It was no way in the world that I would know this. Okay. And the conversation, this was the first time when I knew I was connecting. Okay. So I woke up right from the dream, and that it was just like somebody was talking to me, and it was heavy. I felt very heavy that I had to call my mom and tell her about this dream. It was so real, right? So I called my mom and I said, Mom, I had this dream, you know, and she's, oh, what did you dream about? And I called my grandmother Grammy. I said, I saw Grammy in this dream. And, you know, when you say dream, my mom is drinking coffee, watching television, doing everything else because it's not important. It's just a dream. It's not real. This is how we've been programmed, right? And I'm all excited. And, you know, she's like, okay, calm down. Just tell me what happened. And so I said, I saw Grammy and I described her, right? And the image of my grandmother that I described, I've never seen her like that before. She probably was in her 20s. You know what I mean? I described the dress that she had on, the pearls that she had around her neck. It was a cream dress. She had on a hat with a feather. And my mom just said, wait, stop. You saw this? And I was like, yeah, it was so vivid. She was like, you wasn't even born. I got pictures of, you know, your grandmother in this outfit. And then I told her, and she told me to tell you that he didn't do it. And I won't go into details. And so when I said that, you could hear a rat piss on cotton, or a bad analogy, a mouse piss on cotton. She was just quiet. And I would start saying, hello, Mom, are you there? Right? I thought it was just a dream. I'm being honest, ladies and gentlemen. And she started crying. She said, I knew he didn't do it. I knew he didn't do it. I knew he didn't do it. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck are you talking about? It was, you know, and she told me that before I was born, something had happened in our family and everybody accused a certain person of doing something, but this certain person kept telling everybody that they didn't do it, right? And I had no way of knowing this. Okay, so I connected with my grandmother in a non-physical realm that we call the dream. And after that happened, right, I downloaded that experience with her. Okay, so now this is how you connect. I just wanted to tell you that story so you can, if you're having dreams, you're already doing it. You're just not conscious of the connection that you have with non-physical consciousness, beings that have passed within. I call it they turn within. Okay, the way that you connect with spirits, that's the word that a lot of people use, is it's just you focusing on the spirit. Okay, and you have to, that's why centering is so important and visualization is so important. We went over this on a lot of shows. It's about your focus, your will, and your desire. So what I do is when I want to communicate with my grandmother, I just think of my grandmother's energy, a pleasant moment, a time in the illusion of time that we spent together, and I visualize her and I feel her, okay, vivid, and she will appear. The more I think about her, the more I visualize her, the more I pull up these experiences that we had together. Like I can visualize her right now. I'm down on my knees. I'm about what? Oh, maybe 7 or 8 years old. And she's teaching me my first prayer. This is the connection that I had. I can see her. I can smell her, right? She used to spray this old outdated perfume she used to wear. Very classy, very soft smoking. And she's teaching me word by word, our Father, who art in heaven, holy is thy name. Holy, I'm right there, okay? And the more I think about her, this is a calling. I'm calling upon her spirit, okay? And the more that I think about her in my awakening physical state, I will summons her to visit me in the non-physical realms. Let me give you an example. Okay, if something happens throughout your day that you get real emotional about, right? 9 times out of 10, when you fall asleep, right, your subconscious is going to pull that up because you exhorted a lot of emotion and a lot of will and the desire to create to manifest this. Okay, it's the same with summoning spirits. Okay, you can also do it with music. Every time you listen to one of Michael Jackson's songs, you are keeping him alive because you recorded his vibration. His frequency was attached to the music. Music is a universal language. Okay, so every time you listen to Michael Jackson's, you are summoning his spirit. He's there with you. You start thinking about him. If you ever met him, you start going back to that point of time in the illusion of time where he resided on the planet. Okay, so if it's somebody that you want to summon, think about them. Imagine them. Sit, be still, focus on them. Focus on how they smell. Focus on some of the funny things that used to crack you up. Pull up those intimate times with that individual. Okay, pull it up. All right. If you have a recording or a video of that person, play the video, look at them, feel them, smell them. Right. And if your will and your desire is strong enough and your visualization is strong enough, and all you have to do is practice these things, they will appear in the non-physical realms. When the body falls asleep, either an out of body experience or a lucid dream, they will appear. And just embrace them, spend time with them. Talk to them. They'll give you little messages. Okay. There's no such thing as death. You just got the physical realm and the non-physical realm, Stan. So that's how you can do that. Okay. I hope that helped. And it's a little deeper than that, but that's like the, a simpler way to do it. All right. Running from sleep. Okay. That makes sense. Thank you, Desire. Thank you, Derek. I could lucid dream easily while pregnant, but not now. I will do what you said tonight. Yeah. And another secret to lucid dreams is, and this is very important, and you can hear them. If you guys can hear, they're still cutting down the fucking trees. You hear it? You can hear them. They're still cutting down all of the trees. If you really want to become lucid dream, what you're doing, an easy way that you can state your intent, okay, so that lucid dreaming will become very, very natural. You have to, I'm trying to just put this into English, okay, because it's on autopilot for me, because sometimes you guys don't catch me a lot on the live streams, but my non-physical existence, like I say, is actually more vivid than this experience. I'll catch myself sometimes. I'll look at my hands, I'll touch my hands, right? Sometimes I'll do this, I'll hold my nose and try to breathe. These are called dream signs, okay? And if you watch me a lot, I do the same things. I do what's called reality checks or dream signs, because in order for you to awaken in the non-physical realms, you're gonna have to look for a sign. It's because it's that thin from you wakening and not wakening. It's just you seeing something that defies what we call the awakening state. You know what I mean? Let me give you an example. I'll give you one that'll make a lot of you laugh, and I know exactly how this happened to me. So this morning, right, I became lucid, right? It's gonna be funny as shit. So please don't get offended by this. I just want to share this. This will help somebody, right? And right before I went, that's why I don't like these computers sometimes, right? I was sleepy. So sometimes before I go to sleep, I'll turn on like, you know, meditation music, or I'll check an email. And right before I got tired, right, I'm going on the internet, and it probably happens to some of you. And this pop-up just popped up on my computer. I don't even know how. It comes from YouTube. It comes from Facebook a lot. If you click on links and you get viruses and stuff. And this pop-up of this freaking guy masturbating out of nowhere, you know, just popped up, and I looked and I clicked off of it, and it disturbed me. You know what I mean? And it could have been, and I'm not blaming nobody, but you know, my computer, a lot of people get on my computer when they visit, especially the one that I have in my bedroom. That's the one that, you know, I let my son get on, and you know, everybody get on that computer. So I don't know what people are watching at all times, but this pop-up popped up, right? And that was like the last thing that bothered me before I went to sleep. Are you guys with me? Because I got real emotional about it. Like, where the fuck did this come from? You know what I mean? And so I went to sleep with that emotion still attached. That emotional body was out of line, right? So sure enough, in between the hours of I'll go to sleep. I get in bed at 9 p.m. I'm usually into my first sleep cycle by, you know, 10, 10:30, 11, you see? And so what happened was I was dreaming, or I was in the non-physical realms, right? And I was out on my porch, the same porch that I have, right? And I always look for dream signs. To become lucid, you're just conscious. Once you know your consciousness, you will become conscious inside of the dream. That's all a lucid dream is, okay? So I'm out on my porch, and I can see things that are similar. A lot of things are similar. You really have to be focused to see the non-similarities in the dreams, or sometimes they just jump out at you and you can just wake up. But this is what happened. I was out on the porch, and I got like these bushes, right? So I kept hearing the bushes move, right? And we got a lot of cats that be going in the bush. So I walked over to the bush, and to my surprise, when I moved the bush, right, it's this basketball player. His name is Shaquille O'Neal. He's retired. He used to play basketball for the Lakers. A lot of you know who Shaquille O'Neal is. Shaquille O'Neal was in my bushes jacking off, right? And it was funny as shit. Like, I started laughing inside of the dream. I'm like, Shaq, what the fuck are you doing? You in my bushes, dude. What the fuck? And he just kept jacking off. And right then and there, I just looked at my hands, touched my hands, my finger went right between my hands, and I started laughing, and I became lucid in the dream. And I told Shaq, why are you doing this? He was like, because I wanted to upset you. And I asked him, well, why would you want to upset me? He said, because you don't like this. And I was like, well, stop. I'm upset, right? And he started laughing, and he stopped. You see what I'm saying? And he started walking away, and I said, Shaq, where are you going? And he said, I'm going away. I said, well, why are you leaving? He was like, because it's not bothering you anymore. You see what I'm saying? So these dreams are like a reflection coming from your subconscious. Because that bothered me so much, I look at it like my subconscious was trying to ask me, why did this bother you so bad? Because it just came out of nowhere. And it was the same in the dream. You see how I'm discerning this? The pop-up popped up on my computer out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it, right? And it bothered me. You know how you be like, what is this shit? Get off my computer. Damn, you know how we get. And so in the dream, Shaq was in the bushes and hid in sight. And when I moved the bush, he just popped up out of nowhere. So this is a way your subconscious will let you kind of address things that are bothering you in your awakened state. And I always talk to the dream characters in my dreams or in the non-physical realms. I pursue them and force them to talk to me by asking questions. Okay, I don't try to take over the dreams and create new dreams. I just talk to whatever is surrounding me in that dream space. Okay, so I hope that helped you. So to become lucid, you need to get in a sleep pattern. Okay, your sleep has to be the same way or at the same time, habitual. So you'll wake up at a certain time every night. So I'm in bed by 9 p.m. Just count the hours: 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock. I always say 3 because that's a 6-hour sleep cycle. I get 8 hours of sleep. So my last 2 hours when I wake up at 3 o'clock, right? And remember, I feed my dogs at 6 a.m. So from 3, I got 2 more hours, 4, 5. I'm lucid dreaming between 4 and 5 a.m. in the morning after I wake up at 3 a.m. I'll wake up at 3 a.m. like clockwork. I always see 333s because it's in my sleep pattern. Now, when I wake up, I'll get up, get me a glass of water, and then I'm stating my intent in most cases. Okay, I'm going to be lucid in my dreams. I'm telling myself it's the last thing that I'm thinking about. I want to fly, or I want to do this, or I want to see this person, or whatever it is I want to do. I'm thinking about it. I'm saying it. I'm believing it. I'm using my will and the desire to build up that emotion. And right when I feel that emotion, I lay back down in that emotion and I drift off. And 99.9% of the time, I experience what people call a lucid dream or waking up in the dream state. I purposely do it in the illusion of time at certain times. So now it's a habit. So now I have these frequent lucid dreams. But if you're that type of person that you go to bed one day at 1 a.m. or you go to bed at 3 a.m., remember, you have sleep cycles. You have this REM sleep, like these 2 hours of REM sleep where your eyes are rolling and you're experiencing things. You have to target your sleep patterns around these times. Okay, this goes back to you must take time for yourself to ascend. Okay, my sleep, my wife would tell you, don't fuck with me when I'm meditating or I'm sleeping. It is very, very important to me. Just like how the awakened state is important to you, don't mess with me when I'm meditating or don't mess with me when I'm sleeping. I get very, very disturbed when I'm awakened or people mess with me while I'm doing that. That's one thing you'll learn about me. If you ever visited me or I ever spent, don't mess with me when I'm meditating and don't mess with me while I'm sleeping. Okay, because my non-physical realms are just as important as this realm to me. Okay, because I'm immortal there. I never die there. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm really enjoying this chat. All right, so what's else going on? I see 1111 a lot. You're seeing you're being contacted. 6 Pinnacle. I see it a lot. I see 11 a lot is because I'm outside of the matrix. I do certain things at a certain time. So 1111 comes up a lot. The 333s come up a lot. I see a lot of 444s. So you're being contacted. Okay. And when I say contacted, not by, well, I can't say that because I don't know what's going on with you. But when I say I'm being contacted, I'm connecting to higher frequencies, right? I'm conscious of different frequencies and ringing in the ears and different numbers. I'm breaking free from the matrix, the control of time. Okay, I'm recognizing the control of time. I'm becoming more free. I'm becoming more open to more possibilities. I'm being unprogrammed. That's what they mean by you're being contacted. Okay, let me catch Zinga real quick. Peace and love, Zen.
Peace and love, Derek. Hi.
What's going on? Take us home, Zen.
Oh.
Take us home.
I wanted to attach my energy to you guys, and I am fresh out of the sauna from my grandparents.
Oh, okay. So tell us where you at right now, Zen.
I'm at my grandparents' place in between Europe and Asia in Russia.
Beautiful.
Near White Mountains. And supposedly White Mountains hold a very high and pure energy. I've been washing myself with water pumped from the earth. My grandfather built everything here with his own hands. The house, the sauna, the gardens are all handmade with him and his friends and family, of course. And the reason why I'm calling besides attaching my energy, I wanted to share with you my book I'm reading right now, A Way of Being by Carl R. Rogers. He is a new role model. He became a new role model for me, the founder of the Human Potential Movement. And I wanted to read out a section about communication, if it's okay with you.
Please, please.
The first simple feeling I want to share with you is my enjoyment when I can really hear someone. I think perhaps this has been a long-standing characteristic of mine. I can remember this in my early grammar school days. A child would ask the teacher a question, and the teacher would give a perfectly good answer to a completely different question. A feeling of pain and distress would always strike me. My reaction was, "But you didn't hear him." I felt a sort of childish despair at the lack of communication, which was and is so common. I believe I know why it is so satisfying to me to hear someone. When I can really hear someone, it puts me in touch with him. It enriches my life. It is through hearing people that I have learned all that I know about individuals, about personality, about interpersonal relationships. There is another peculiar satisfaction in really hearing someone. It is like listening to the music of the spheres, because beyond the immediate message of the person, no matter what that might be, there is the universal, hidden in all of the personal communications which I really hear. There seem to be orderly psychological laws, aspects of the same order we find in the universe as a whole. So there is both the satisfaction of hearing this person and also the satisfaction of feeling oneself in touch with what is universally true. And this section about being heard of. Let me move on to the second learning that I would like to share with you.
Okay.
I like to be heard. A number of times or going round and round in torment circles, or during one period overcame by feelings of worthlessness and despair. I think I have been more fortunate than most in finding at these times individuals who have been able to hear me and thus rescue me from this chaos of my feelings, individuals who have been able to hear my meanings a little more deeply than I have known them. These persons have heard me without judging me, diagnosing me, appraising me, evaluating me. They have just listened and clarified and responded to me at all levels at which I was communicating. I can testify that when you are psychologically distressed and someone really hears you without passing judgment on you, without trying to take responsibility for you, without trying to mold you, it feels damn good. At these times, it has relaxed the tension in me. It has permitted me to bring out the frightening feelings, the guilt, the despair, the confusions that have been a part of my existence. When I have been listened to and when I have been heard, I am able to perceive my world in a new way and to go on. It is astonishing how elements that have seemed insoluble become soluble when someone listens, how confusions that seem irremediable turn into relatively clear flowing streams when one is heard. I have deeply appreciated the times that I have experienced a sensitive, empathetic, concentrated listening.
That's beautiful, man. I almost went to sleep. It was so soothing. You should record an audio book, man. And I tell you this all the time, man. You just got that frequency and that accent like that, that accent, man. You have a great meditative audio book, man. That was beautiful, man. That was beautiful. That's Carl Rogers, you say?
Yes, that's Carl R. Rogers. He is the one who first started with the humanistic approach in psychotherapy. And when I am reading him, I can so much relate to him. I resonate with him on such a deep level.
Okay. That's a great book. I'm gonna have to check.
I can give you one small part in listening and then we can stop.
Go for it.
So I have learned to ask myself, can I hear the sounds and sense the shape of this other person's inner world? Can I resonate to what he is saying so deeply that I sense the meanings he is afraid yet would like to communicate, as well as those he knows?
Hit me one more time with that, Zen. Hit me one. Repeat that one more time, if you may, please.
Repeat?
Yeah,
okay.
please.
Okay. When I say that I hearing someone, I mean, of course, hearing deeply. Oh, okay. Let's start from here, then it's more clear. When I say that I enjoy hearing someone, I mean, of course, hearing deeply. I mean that I hear the words, the thoughts, the feeling tones, the personal meaning, even the meaning that is below the conscious intent of the speaker. Sometimes too, in a message which is superficially is not very important, I hear a deep human cry that lies buried and unknown far below the surface of the person. So I have learned to ask myself, can I hear the sound and the sense of and sense the shape of this owner's person inner world? Can I resonate to what he is saying so deeply that I sense the meaning he is afraid of yet would like to communicate, as well as those he knows?
Man, that's deep. You know, I thought that I was picking up on that, and that just took me back to when I asked the young lady. She was like, can you tell me what type of energy that I have? And I asked her, I can if you call in, because as soon as I hear your voice, I don't know if you heard that part. That's basically kind of sort of what I do. I go deeper than what they're saying. I connect to that vibration, and I go beyond like the words of the English, and I connect to the intent. So that's real deep what Carl is getting into. Can we really hear and feel what someone is saying? That's deep, bro. I like that.
He is telling how you listen on all levels.
Yeah.
What is the person saying? What is her emotional tone of the voice? What is the possible intent of the person? When you really listen into what he is trying to communicate, then you create. Then you can deeply come in touch with the person. I remember how in my phase of depression, I felt really unheard. And when I first found my therapist, this lady was amazing. She connected with me on such a deep level, and she helped help me rise up again. That's basically it, what I was talking about. And in some sense, you too. You were there listening to me without judgment too. So I wanted to give you thanks too.
Peace, man. No problem, man. Just, you know, I because you're a part of me, and I see some aspects and some situations that you know that you're experiencing now. I experienced some of the similar things, and you know what I connect to is I at that particular time when I went through some of the things that I went to, because we experienced some similar things in our journey. I didn't have anybody to listen to. So, you know what I mean? I felt good listening to you heal. I also, and this is what I try to tell some of the people in our soul group. I don't just throw my shit out here to be proud of some of the stuff that I've done in this journey, or the good and the bad. I'm throwing my shit out here because I'm healing. I listen to a lot of why you guys call in. I heal from the frequencies that you allow us to attach to. You see, I understand energy. I understand intent. I'm healing from all of my old wounds when I listen to Xenia talk about things that he's going through. Life is an experience. Okay. So I get some of the essence that you get from some of your experiences, and I connect to that, and I download that, and I use that as a band-aid to heal some of the experience. It gives me a different perspective of some of the things that I've experienced that you've experienced. You understand what I'm saying? It's just what Carl Rogers is he just said it. I'm listening to you.
It's the deep communication where we feel appreciated, understood, and we open ourselves up to change. And this change is basically the healing process.
It's healing.
The healing process. We are changing to a more whole person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, unfortunately, brother, you know how it goes in the illusion of time on this show. I got to cut you short. All right. But I love you, man. And thank you for sharing that with us.
Too.
And ladies and gentlemen, go over. Ladies and gentlemen, go over. Because that was beautiful. I mean, that really was beautiful. Carl Rogers is who he said. I know I'm going to Google that and try to see if Carl has an audio book, because I really don't have a lot of time. Like when I'm driving around in my car, I like audio books. I listen, that my subconscious pick up on that. But that was deep. That's the exact same thing that I was trying to do with the young lady by having her call in, was to connect to the frequency and the vibration of what she was saying, so I can enter in, get a deeper experience with her. I'm going past what she's saying. I'm searching for her intent to give her my perspective on her energy. So that was right on time. Thank you for that, Zen. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been great today. I thank everyone for connecting to this energy today. You guys and girls are what keeps me balanced. You guys give me purpose for doing these live streams. I embrace the love vibration that a lot of you share with me week in and week out. And I just wanted to thank you so much for connecting, just being connected. We are connected. That's all. Okay. We don't have to make it something that it's not. We are connected to something that is even greater than our imaginations. Think about that for a minute. We are connected to something that is even greater than our imaginations. Stay connected. I love you. Sunday, I got a returning guest. A lot of you love one of the guests that we had on Sunday, and I've connected with this beautiful soul, and they're going to be joining us Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss it. I love you guys. Peace and love, and I'll see you Sunday. Peace.